What if I told you that one of the most powerful companies on Earth, a company that literally shapes how we see the world, was born from a chance encounter between two students who initially couldn't stand each other? This isn't a Hollywood movie script. It's the real story of Sergey Brin, the brilliant mind who, alongside his partner Larry Page, co-founded Google. It's a journey that starts not in a Silicon Valley garage, but in the heart of the Soviet Union, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire for freedom. How did a young boy who faced prejudice and uncertainty become a multi-billionaire tech revolutionary? Stick around because this is the incredible story of Sergey Brin from zero to Google. Sergey Mikhailovich Brin was born in Moscow in 1973. His family was part of the Jewish intellectual elite. His father, Mikhail, was a talented mathematician, and his mother, Eugenia, was a research scientist. From a young age, Sergey showed a remarkable aptitude for numbers, a gift nurtured by his father. However, life in the Soviet Union was far from ideal. The Brin family, like many Jewish families, faced systemic anti-Semitism. Mikhail Brin, despite his brilliance, was barred from certain career advancements and couldn't pursue his dream of becoming an astrophysicist. He saw a bleak future for his son, a future where potential would be stifled by prejudice. So in 1979, when Sergey was just 6 years old, the Brin family made a life-altering decision. They would emigrate to the United States. It was a huge risk. They had to leave behind their home, their friends, and the life they knew, all for a chance at a better future in a foreign land. They settled in Maryland, and for young Sergey, it was a culture shock. But it was also a world of opportunity. His father became a math professor at the University of Maryland, and his mother worked for NASA. Sergey, no longer constrained by the old system, thrived. He excelled in school, particularly in math and computer science, and his parents encouraged his curiosity every step of the way. On his 9th birthday, they gave him his first computer, a Commodore 64. It was a simple machine by today's standards, but for Sergey it was a gateway to a new universe. He was hooked. He blazed through high school and enrolled at the University of Maryland at just 15 years old, graduating with honors in mathematics and computer science. His next stop was a prestigious PhD program at Stanford University. And it was there, in the heart of what would become Silicon Valley, that fate intervened. In 1995, during a new student orientation, Sergey was assigned to show a fellow prospective student around campus. That student was Larry Page. By all accounts, their first meeting was not a match made in heaven. They reportedly argued about almost everything. But beneath their disagreements lay a shared intellectual curiosity and a passion for data. They were both fascinated by the structure of the World Wide Web, which was then a chaotic, disorganized mess of information. Finding anything specific online in the mid-90s was a nightmare. Existing search engines just counted how many times a keyword appeared on a page, which often led to irrelevant and spammy results. Larry and Sergey believed there had to be a better way. They started collaborating on a research project they called BackRub. The core idea was revolutionary. Instead of just looking at the words on a page, they decided to analyze the links between pages. Their theory was that a link from one page to another was like a vote of confidence. The more votes a page had from other reputable pages, the more important and trustworthy it must be. They developed an algorithm to rank pages based on this link authority, which they called PageRank, a clever play on Larry's last name and the concept of a web page. Working out of their dorm rooms, they built a search engine based on this new algorithm. The results were astoundingly better than anything else available. They soon realized their little research project had the potential to change the internet forever. They renamed their project Google, a misspelling of Google, the mathematical term for the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. It was a name that perfectly captured their mission, to organize the world's seemingly infinite amount of information. To get the computing power they needed, they famously built servers out of cheap, spare computer parts, housed in custom-made cases built from Lego bricks. The first Google server rack was a colorful testament to their ingenuity and resourcefulness. In 1998, they dropped out of their PhD programs to focus on their company full-time. They secured their first major investment, a $100,000 check from Sun Microsystems co-founder Andy Bechtolsheim. The check was made out to Google Inc., which forced them to officially incorporate the company just to cash it. They moved out of their dorms and into a now legendary garage in Menlo Park, California, owned by Susan Wojcicki, who would later become the CEO of YouTube. This humble garage became the first official headquarters of Google. The company grew at an explosive rate. Their clean, simple homepage and superior search results attracted a loyal following. By 2000, Google was the world's largest search engine, and its name was becoming a verb. But Sergey and Larry's vision went far beyond just search. They believed in using technology to solve big problems and make information universally accessible. This philosophy drove the development of a suite of groundbreaking products. There was Gmail, with its then unheard-of gigabyte of free storage. Google Maps, which transformed navigation. Google Docs, which revolutionized collaborative work. And of course, the acquisition of Android, which would come to dominate the mobile operating system market. Sergey was a key driving force behind many of these innovations, particularly the more ambitious long-term projects. He was the visionary who pushed the company to think beyond the immediate and invest in moonshots. This led to the creation of Google X, the company's semi-secret research and development lab. As the head of Google X, Sergey oversaw projects that sounded like science fiction. Self-driving cars, now known as Waymo. Smart contact lenses for monitoring glucose levels, and Project Loon, an initiative to provide internet access to remote areas using high-altitude balloons. His adventurous spirit and willingness to fund risky, world-changing ideas became a hallmark of Google's culture. He wasn't just building a company. He was trying to invent the future. In 2004, Google went public in one of the most anticipated IPOs in history, instantly making Sergey Brin and Larry Page multi-billionaires. But for Sergey, the wealth was a means to an end, a resource to fund even bigger ambitions and philanthropic efforts. He has invested heavily in medical research, particularly for Parkinson's disease, a condition that runs in his family, and has supported causes related to environmentalism and clean energy. In 2015, Google underwent a major restructuring, creating a new parent company called Alphabet. Sergey served as its president until 2019, when he and Larry Page stepped down from their executive roles, handing the reins to a new generation of leaders. Today, Sergey Brin remains on the board of Alphabet, a guiding force and a living symbol of the company's innovative roots. His journey from a 6-year-old immigrant fleeing persecution to a global tech icon is a powerful testament to the American dream. It's a story of intellect, perseverance, and the incredible power of a single, brilliant idea. It shows that sometimes the most world-changing innovations begin with two people who can't agree on anything, except for a shared desire to make the world a more connected and understandable place. Sergey Brin didn't just help build a search engine. He helped build the digital world we live in today.